percent on that. But it gives him another good chasing option as well. He doesn't have to rely on net or ensnare, that is, being blocked. He can just Diffusal Blade somebody, force an action, and react. Oh, Suno Melons might die again here.
Yeah, Ohio's inbound. He's got the Echo. It's going to connect on Moon, but Moon doesn't have Guardian Greaves. Oh, no. Moon will be the one that goes down, though Swindle does live.
Yeah, Ohio being slightly greedy on his combo there. He attacked between one of the stuns instead of going for the guaranteed stun. So Swindle gets out, they get the Darkseer. I don't know if they were going to grab both anyways, but
no,
one is still good.
Could have been, I think one still would have died, but the Guardian Greaves are on cooldown for that. Made it even more difficult.
And in the meantime, Fly's still getting last hits. Ziz is still getting last hits. And Z-Freak, I'm sure, was doing something as well because his HP is missing. So yeah. Fnatic gets a kill, but they're farming so often and in so many aggressive places that they're not able to get the kills fast enough.
Well, Scotty completed on KYXY, though the Clinks is on the verge of getting his Daedalus. KYXY in a forward position. Buyback's still on cooldown for about 20 seconds here. He's also short on gold. Fnatic need to be careful at this point. If they lose another team fight, this game will get very difficult. Roche is up. Could be something Complexity want to consider when their Darkseer comes back to life.
You know, I think the PL's actually not taking that much damage from the Ember Spirit, so he has the ability to win this game, but it's going to come down to Echo Slams, really. That's what Fnatic needs. Clink Sim, yeah, because there would be a Butterfly eventually on the PL. It's the natural next item when you have this many stats. So, or a Manta, one of those two at this point would be great. But he can definitely win this game, but they're going to need a lot of them to be chain stunned, and preferably also Darkseer. If Darkseer doesn't get his pipe and his mech off, then his impact is much, much less. But if they do, then I don't think they have the damage to work through this until Mushi gets maybe a refresher or something. Because right now, his damage output is not what we normally see out of a Zeus. It's threatening, but it isn't game-winning.
Yeah, that's the perfect way to summarize that. He can still put out a lot, but they just don't have anyone who can finish off these kills. Complexity have too many different ways to disengage through the Surge, through all of their defensive items, and the Song of the Siren. Once they drop that first Zeus ult, where's the damage come from? I guess the PL, but
yeah, but
they have some ways to get away. Yeah.
They have Vacuum, they have Naga Sleep, they have Lina Stun and Dragon Slide. Find the right one.
Yeah.
It's difficult. Blink Dagger now and Fly helps his split push even more. Lower chance that he dies, and he can dodge some spells too.
And now that Clinks, now that they have two Diffusals, really, Dazzle's life gets a lot more difficult. I feel like Clinks can start off these fights by just looking for the Dazzle, isolating him, and forcing him to either grave himself or just die. Either way, that's a victory for Complexity.
Yeah, or Z-Freak can just find the Dazzle and keep him segmented by either by netting him or just Diffusal Blading him. If he's just limited on movement speed, he may not be in the grave position as well.
That's a good point.
And all these illusions now have Diffusal Blades, so they can do up to 25 mana burn. Not amazing for... Oh, they're going in.
Here we go. Wall vacuum on two. Ketchy Kimba dies before he can grave Johnny Will Mech, but I don't think that's going to do too much to keep him alive. Certainly not. Swindle gets a crit and finishes him off in stunning fashion.
It really seems like Dazzle's worthless this game, honestly. Like, how many times is he just getting...
Z-Freak gets a third gem.
A third gem?
He's got three of them. This guy's tricked out, man.
He actually does have so many gems. They're just shutting down the Dazzle, and they're killing him in the first bit of time. Like, it's their organization. That's how you beat Dazzle, is having good teamwork. You have to focus the right people, and you have to initiate properly. And they've got enough Blink Daggers for it that they can always do a vacuum into Lina Stun, and at that point, you've got kills. This guy is so farmed on Earthshaker.
Whoa. Aghanim Scepter. Not an item you get to see picked up on Earthshaker too often.
So every hero that gets hit by the Echo increases the Echo by 140 damage. So
Z-Freak needs to be careful with his illusions.
Yes, because it counts for every illusion now. They buffed that recently.
Yep.
So for every hero that gets hit, they're taking at least 410 magic damage. Every hero, additional to that, an extra 140 that everyone takes. So if you do like a 3-man dunk, you're talking about like AoE 1000 damage before you even do Aftershock, Enchant Totem, or Fissure. So again, the team fight is here. Ohio's done great this game. They just need to find a grouped Complexity. It happened once in the last game versus C9. Will it happen again? Because if so, Fnatic can turn things around and potentially win this game.
That's true. Though for Fnatic, their positioning needs to be spot on as well. Double Battle Fury now for Swindle Melon, so if they're not spread apart properly, they could just get crippled by a big Daedalus crit in the team fight. So positioning, always important at this stage in the game, now 40 minutes plus, but I feel like in this matchup, it's particularly important. It's the make it or break it for both these teams.
Yeah, I agree entirely. Ember Spirit even maybe should pick up a... I don't know if BKB is the solution. Maybe just more HP would be better because their disable is a bit lacking. So he's actually going to find KYXY mid here, and they're fighting him. I can't believe he's here. Clinks is just blowing him up.
Wow.
I guess he wanted to try for the solo kill. I mean, he can defuse the blade off the flame guard.
He just died
but
so fast, though.
there was no way that was going to work. I feel like that was just a complete mistake from KYXY. Maybe he read the map wrong and thought he was going to be solo, but even then, I don't see him killing him that much.
Now, he does have a buyback available, though, so of course that hurts, but they will have one more chance to make another hold. Refresher on Zeus. Big item
He's
there.
got to know.
Yeah, there it is.
He had to buy all these other items, the Yules, the Ghost, the Blink, just to deal with the Clinks. Zeus is just not a good hero to have against the Clinks.
Backdoor protection's been broken. Ziz goes in, pops the BKB. Ohio hops forward, but...
Oh, he's used it already.
Yeah, he hasn't used his ultimate yet. Ohio will be able to live through that initial bout of damage. Johnny just barely lives. Now they turn on to Ziz. Undying does end up falling. Ziz survives. Guardian Greaves are popped, as is the Song of the Siren. So they get one kill on the Undying. They force the buyback on the PL, and now Complexity just disengage. Oh, the Echo Slam on Swindle.
Whoa, he just died.
Blows him up, but he has got the Aegis of the Immortal. I don't know if that was worth the Echo Slam. Now it's on cooldown for quite some while. Swindle will come back to life, but where's his team? He makes it up to the high ground just barely.
He has been ditched.
Okay.
He actually died so fast there. I dare say he needs an armor item almost, because just the medallion alone drops his armor to like 5.
Yeah.
And then PL's hitting him for about 230 apiece. That only takes a couple hits and he dies.
Absolutely.
And he gets some mana burn too.
A decent hold for Fnatic, though. The problem is PL's buyback is now on cooldown, so if they can just manage to kill KYXY one more time, this hold for Fnatic becomes exceptionally difficult. Still 70 seconds before the Echo.
Moon's got his heal and support items up. It's about 800 away from a Hex. And Lina approaching. Blink, Ags, Bloodstone. God, this guy farms.
He really does.
Ziz in trouble. He's got BKB, but they initiate him first. He pops in time.
Oh, what a vacuum into the wall. Johnny tries to mech through it. KYXY in the front lines. Down comes the Tombstone, but Moon Meander in the front here for Complexity. They're doing some decent damage. One ult from Mushi doing some work. The Grave onto KYXY. He needs to be so careful here. They get the kill onto Clinks, but at what cost? Swindle looking for another slight. Can't quite get it. Forced to jump defensively. Buyback now on Ziz. He does not have BOT, so he's got to walk across the map to get back in here. The Tier 3 towers fall, and they've lost Undying. Ohio's gone in deep with the Grave just at the last second. KYXY low on HP as he pops out of the base. They're trying to turn on him. They get it with the slight. Oh, my.
Saw that one coming, man.
Looking bad for Fnatic. 3 in the Grave, no buyback, and I think Complexity have done it in Game 1 here, Purge.
And Keswick in by here is just going to get right-click down. He doesn't even have Grave mana, so he ends up going. And Mushi is low as well, and they've done it. That's Mega Creeps. Almost nothing Fnatic can do to defend. They had such a good defense there. Kept weaving in and out, picking off the low HP heroes, but
yeah,
that seems to be it.
They did surprisingly well with that last hold. If that PL had another buyback, maybe, just maybe, they could have held that off and extended the game a little bit longer. But it wasn't just that last fight. Complexity were in control for this entire game. You look at the gold graph, it ends with a 30k net worth lead, but there was never a point in this game when Fnatic was truly ahead. The mid-game, they were on even footing, but they never really pulled away with much momentum.
I mean, they won those first couple early mid-fights when they had, like, Undying, Zeus, all of that advantage. But once they got to the part where their items were really integral, I feel like the item choices on Mushi just set them too far behind. Like, he got that... Did you ever feel like he did that much this game? Like, obviously he had a huge impact in the laning stage, got tons of kills, but he translated into a Midas, and he eventually got the Ags with the Refresher, but just imagine if he had more HP, if he dodged a couple ganks from Clinks, got a fast Ghost Scepter, maybe, and then, because, like, Clinks' defusal was actually quite late. It was after the... Desolator, it was after the BKB, then he got a defusal. If he just got a Ghost Scepter right after like some HP items, like a Bloodstone, then Clinks wouldn't have been able to pick that up, because then he would have just completely got blown up to Zeus. He had to get BKB. So Zeus should have been able to recognize that he would have had that item advantage. Maybe the Ghost doesn't save him versus Lina and Ember Spirit, and that's why he grabbed it, because he was worried about the Naga sleep setup. But I feel like Mushi's item build just really didn't give them what they needed this game, and because of it, they weren't relevant enough in the mid-game, and they started losing fights.
Yeah, I would agree. And we talked about Complexity showing their diversity at the beginning of that draft, and their playstyle, they adjusted appropriately. We saw Fly do a completely different item build from the games prior, again, worked very well. And even though they lost a lot of those early skirmishes, they still kept their composure, they split the map, they farmed very effectively, and ultimately that's what kept them head above water during the mid-game.
Yeah.
So that's game number 1. Complexity on a hot streak today, boys. 3-0 so far. They've got one game left. We'll see how they fare against Fnatic coming up next. I'm Zyori. He's Purge. Stick around, folks, because we've got game 2 around the corner.